Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, 6:08 Thursday, July 7th, 75 degrees, got up to 86 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio, streaming live on the radio, pop up, and WOBMAM.com, 732-505-1160. Join the conversation. And we are now joined by Brian Mirsky. He is the CEO of Veranda Technologies. So, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
How'd you come up with that name?
Veranda. I have two girls,
Okay.
Veronica and Miranda. Veronica's 7, Miranda's 11.
So you like that better than Veronica?
Veronica, it didn't work.
Right, because there's a whole thing going on.
Yeah, Veranda worked. It melded nicely together, and it's built in protection when we go to a party or a barbecue and my wife holds somebody else's little baby.
Right, you say you can't change the name of the company.
Company's already named. I've got letterhead. We're not having another. So.
Well, that's good. You beat me to my next question because
Absolutely.
I was literally going to ask what happens if. Okay, so Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about what your company does, what you guys are all about?
Sure. So we're a full-service IT consulting firm, and we provide the two typical types of services an IT consulting firm would provide. The first is break fix, where a client would typically call when something's not working the way it should. We fix it. We send them an invoice. A lot of our customers prefer to work that way, and that's terrific. Where we excel is in something that's newer in the industry called managed services. So we're an MSP, managed services provider. And all it essentially means is that we are assuming a responsibility for a predefined set of services. We will go into the client, we'll look at how many computers they have, how large they are, how much data, and determine a backup and disaster recovery plan, the right antivirus or anti-malware software to use. Some of our clients choose, we have a list of services, but one of them is web content filtering. So if you have a law firm and you don't want your employees on Facebook during the day, you might give them an hour and a half for lunch, 11:30 to 1, and we can block specific websites or types of websites. And then, of course, the sites like pornography, guns, violence, that can be blocked all day. There's no place for that in the workplace anyway. And then we have a set of monitoring, basically a monitoring suite. So we'll watch hard drive activity, network utilization, videos being downloaded, things like that. And basically, it's more of a metered or proactive approach versus the reactive where something breaks and they call. The client knows what they're getting. There is some skin in the game from them because it's a contract-based solution. So it's a yearly contract or a 2-year contract. They have a set monthly that they pay, but they also know what they're getting. There's no nickel and diming on time because there's a bucket of time included.
So the whole website filtering thing, I'm not going to lie. I hated that when I worked for. So my background, I did a lot of work in retail technology.
Sure.
Circuit City, Nobody Beats the Wiz, Electronics Expo, CompUSA, Computer City. I think that's it. And
there may have been one or two more.
Yeah, there may have been one or two that are out of business now that I don't recall.
Sure.
Anyway, and I used to always hate when I would try to go to a website and it was like no, you're not authorized.
Right.
Although that happened mostly at Toys R Us because those big companies, they really don't like that. What could happen? So what could happen to a network or to a system if I go to one of those sites that has some kind of that's corrupt on some level?
Well, so it's even more than what can happen to the network. You have the network aspects. A lot of times people at work, they might not be thinking, or they're working on a PTA project for school. They're going to a clip art site, and clip art sites are notorious for having viruses planted on them. So you could very easily infect a network, picking up something that you wouldn't want festering or lingering in your network. But there's also a liability side. So if a client's surfing inappropriate material and another employee sees it, if you're working in a law firm and you're looking at information about something that is directly related to a case that they're working on, so it's liability. It's there's sometimes litigation involved, and I've honestly had clients that have called owners of companies that say we have an employee that closes their door and maybe looks at material that they shouldn't be looking at from the office.
I was wondering how you were going to say that when you I was like, is he going to say porn?
Well, it's an AM radio station.
You didn't say it. You said because I was afraid you were going to say porn because we can't say porn. But you said,
you said it.
But you didn't say porn. You said material that's inappropriate because we don't want to say porn.
Sure.
All right, good. Moving right along. Tell me how you how you ended up in this business. So, I mean, when you were in school, right, 5 or 6 years ago when you were in high school, were you thinking, gosh, one day I want to have my own IT company. That's what I want to do. I want to work with computers all day.
I was not. I actually have a background in retail,
Okay.
Also CompUSA, Radio Shacks.
Right.
Thankfully, both of which are now on their way out. No, I was working as a transitional, a stepping stone for me, I guess, was a company. It was a consulting firm like mine, a larger company that had, a couple thousand clients, more of a, meat market approach. Clients would call, you take care of the problem, you move on very quickly to the next thing. It was very high pressure. I was there a couple years, and one of my buddies from that company had left a year prior and started his own and was getting overwhelmed at the time. He had some, entry-level grunt stuff that he didn't want to do anymore because he was now busy, and he kept pressuring me into starting my own company. It was 2009, late 2008, early 2009. The market wasn't great, and it hasn't fully rebounded either, but friends were like, you're going to do what? You can start your own company. Thankfully, Eric kept pushing, and my wife, Wendy, who's extremely supportive, supports anything I want to do, said, let's try it. Let's go for it. So we squeezed the two kids' names together, founded the company, and started to go out and try to make a difference.
That is so. I'll tell you what. I am so envious. I want to say. I don't know if that's the right word. I respect so much that you would make a decision with two younger children, right, and a family and a mortgage and all the other stuff, and you're like, you know what, we're going to give it a go, and you made it work. Right. I mean, that's bold. It's something I know, especially when you work in retail. You think about, God, we should just go. How many times do you have the conversation that said we should just go run our own business?
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, that's like a daily.
Sure.
So, like in retail, to me, there are a couple of things that are absolutely going to happen. Number one, the first thing you talk about when you get into work is what's for lunch. All right, that's number one.
For about an hour and a half.
Yeah, for about an hour and a half, and you're kind of like going to go through the whole gamut of things that are available for lunch.
Absolutely.
Which, by the way, are the same 7 things that are available every day.
Yes.
And then the second thing that you start talking about is that your workplace should be a reality show. And then the third thing you say is we should get out of here and go start our own business.
Sure.
And you did it.
Well, I did it, and I didn't have that, and I still, to a degree, don't have that entrepreneurial drive. I need the support system around me. I've got a great group of colleagues that have done it, or some that even still work for companies and support the end goal. But no, it worked. Don't be envious every month. There are months. One of the things my friend Eric would tell me is that when you own your own business, you get to keep 100% of the profits.
Right.
But he left out that 100% of nothing some months is nothing.
Right.
Right. So it's not all up. There are certainly down moments, and occasionally that client you have to chase after for the $50. But,
cool. So that's your. Is that going to be your tagline, by the way, Brian Mirsky? I don't have that entrepreneurial drive. I don't know that I would. use that.
Maybe not.
Okay. When we come back, though, what you do have drive for is extremely civic-minded and giving back to the community. And I'd like to talk about what you kind of do there because I think it's important to understand kind of what makes up, a business owner here at the Jersey Shore and somebody who's trying to do the right things for their family and for their community. And for Eric, who you've mentioned twice now. I don't know. Is there an over-under on how many times you're going to mention Eric's name?
I will mention him again.
Okay, good. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin back after this.
Stay tuned for Preferred Company with Joel Markell and Marianne Levy at 8. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin continues next. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. You were right up against it there, Zach, when you said that.
I really was.
Yes, we are here with Brian Mirsky, CEO of Veranda Technologies. So, Brian, we were talking a little bit. Now, you are also very active in the community. So, For one, you are a board member for the Bricktown Chamber of Commerce. So why don't you tell us a little about that and what that's kind of done for you?
Sure. I started also in 2009 when I started the company. I was encouraged by peers to join some local networking groups. I found my group in the Brick Township Chamber. This year I'm the secretary, so I'm on their board. And it's for me, it's really completed the cycle of why I got into the business anyway. It wasn't about going out and, by nature, I'm a troubleshooter. I'm an investigator. So our job is to go in and fix a problem and solve a need. But for me, I wanted more of a personal relationship, a kind of a white glove type of feel. So with the chamber, my goal was to go in and make relationships, not find customers. A lot of people join networking groups or business groups to land a sale. For me, I wanted to meet people, get to know the community, get involved in the community, and reach deeper into the area around me. Met some great people, and it's interesting to this day because I have a lot of clients that have become clients that aren't even necessarily members of the chamber, but they're friends with people who are.
Right.
So through those trusted relationships, people got to know me, they got to know how I work, and they introduced me to people, or they hear that somebody's having a problem, and they have them call. So it's kind of nice, and I know that the receptionist at any of these offices or the guy who works there 2 days a week will call or email and say, my daughter's going off to college. Do I want Windows 10? What kind of laptop should I buy? So there's a relationship there. It's not just client vendor. It's trusted colleague.
Right, and it's also you feel good that you're also helping out the local business community
Absolutely.
in that way as well. So that's awesome. And I know you're also active with some other organizations, Dottie's House, et cetera. Why don't you tell us about that?
Sure. So again, through my initial contacts at the chamber, I started getting involved with some of these community programs. Dottie's House, which I believe is a traditional or a transitional. Had trouble getting the word out. Housing program for women with children who have been through domestic violence.
Right.
We're very involved with the Girl Scouts. My oldest, Miranda, who's 11, is a Girl Scout. So shout out to Troop 730.
Nice.
And I noticed you have the Girl Scouts are on after me this morning at 7 o'clock. So that's good. We just like getting involved in the community and giving back. One of the things that the Brick Township Chamber has is an educational foundation. We gave out, I believe, close to $30,000 last year and this year. So just giving back, getting involved and like you say, get out and do something.
Very nice. Look at you. That I like when nothing better than when a guest actually uses
Says it for you.
Yeah. Okay. So good. So Chamber of Commerce. So you have 2 kids.
I do.
Right, and which we now know if you could figure out just by the Veranda Technologies, you'd be able to figure if you ever. That's great. By the way,
we're not having a third.
I know that's great, but it's great that you've done it so that if people forget the names of your kids, they could just kind of break apart the name of your company and figure it out.
What's strange though is there are going to be people hearing this hopefully and clients that I've had since 2009, so 7 years now.
Yeah.
That don't know that, and when they put the connection together, or we're looking through pictures or at a holiday party, they're like, "Oh." And,
now they get
6
it.
years, 7 years, because I don't go out talking about it. It's not generally a conversation that comes up.
Right. Well, listen, but it's important, and I think that's what Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin's all about. We want to get to know the man or the woman.
Absolutely.
We don't want to use words like porn. So when we get back, we are going to talk a little bit about backups, why they're so important.
Okay.
We're going to give you your magic wand.
All right.
Right. We're going to learn about where we could find out more about your business.
Terrific.
I think that's pretty much it. If that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Cool. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, Brian Mirsky, CEO, head honcho, Veranda Technologies, and Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We'll be back after this.
The news never stops at WOBMAM.com. Get the latest from WOBM News, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. 6:33, Thursday, July 7th, 75 degrees, set up to 86 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pop app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are joined in studio by Brian Mirsky. He is the CEO of Veranda Technologies. And we were talking when we went to the break about backups. And, you had mentioned to me at one point that it was shocking to you that even with, with Sandy and the storms that we've dealt with, that businesses still aren't backing up. So explain that.
It's true. Any new client I go into, the percentage of clients that we see that don't have any backup solution or a backup solution that maybe they think is working, but nobody that's currently left in the office knows how to check or how to make sure of. They might have an online backup solution like a Carbonite, but there's a little exclamation point over it that says it's expired and hasn't backed up in 173 days. So we went through Hurricane Sandy. We had 3 clients that absolutely lost everything. One was right here on Water Street, downtown Toms River. And, they had to gut the building and go back to studs. They lost every filing cabinet, every phone, 0 data loss. They didn't lose a single contact, a single email, not one piece of data, because they had a backup solution in place. So it's important. There are viruses out there. We've seen the crypto viruses go around that will hold for ransom your files, and the $300 money pack things that go around. You can have a fire in your building, as I believe happened down the road a couple of weeks ago with one of the Toms River facilities that had, in fact, there was a Hometown Heroes or a nonprofit in there. So tragedy can strike any minute. You don't know when it's coming, whether it's flood, whether it's fire, a malicious employee. You need to have backups of your data. You need to know that you're protected, because most businesses would fold if they lost all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it really is amazing that folks don't do that. Although, I think so much now, I was amazed. I just recently traded in my iPhone for a new iPhone. Okay. And it's amazing that you literally turn on the new iPhone, log in your account,
everything comes back.
And it's back. And it's like you never even switched.
Yep. No, and I'll test mine. I actually just went through this a week ago. I wanted more space on the phone. I backed mine up as well. To the cloud and to iTunes. And I intentionally pressed. It took like 10 minutes to get up the nerve to do it, but I said factory wipe, and I wiped my iPhone and then restored it from the backup just to make sure that my backups worked.
Now, see, let me tell you something. That is something that only someone like you would do, because
Absolutely.
There's no chance I would ever. There's no chance I'm testing that the backup is legit.
Well, I did it on my live everyday use phone, and I wanted to go through that exercise because, again, we back up for clients, and I want to make sure that it works.
But once you've gone in and you've worked with a client, it's really that easy. It's not, we're not dealing with these tremendous UPSs or these uninterruptible power supplies that that people have to put, these Seagate backup drives that people used to have, these humongous things with these big tapes in them, and that was what and so now it's basically you're helping them set up to back up and auto back up and continuously back up their data, and it's seamless for them, right?
Correct. Yeah, most of our clients have either a cloud-based where the data backs up to a cloud, much like the iCloud backups work, or external hard drives, or a combination of both. So you'll have, let's say, 2 hard drives that you swap every Friday. The office manager, receptionist knows that on a Friday they switch the 2, take one off-site, whether it's in a glove compartment or somebody's house, just so long as it's not in the same place as all of the other data. And no, we've had servers go down, and it really is just as easy as.
And you recommend having an external backup just in case Al Gore takes the internet back?
Correct.
Okay,
yes.
Good.
Yeah, keep everything on your own personal email servers.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So, Brian, it's good I threw you off your game there a little
Absolutely.
bit. You were totally on it until, the porn thing did nothing for you. But this
didn't knock me off. You can't throw me
Al
off with
Gore,
porn,
I knocked you off, though. All right, good. Brian, it's that time now where we give you the magic wand, the pixie dust, the fairy dust, the ability to make an impact just by wiggling your nose and changing something. Here is your magic wand, Brian Mirsky, Veranda Technologies, head honcho. What are you doing with it?
So my industry, the technology in general is hard enough to stay on top of for the average business owner, the average person, just with the changes in, new iPhones all the time, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. We don't need, I would use the magic wand to eliminate the malicious, the hackers, the crypto virus people. We don't need any of that extra noise in the field. It's hard enough staying on top of this stuff. So I'd use it for those guys.
Right. Because yeah. Yeah, have you heard, by the way, there's this commercial that I hear all the time now, and I don't know if it's because I listen to Fox News or whatever, but it's this commercial, and it's different scenarios, but it's someone with an RF scanner that's basically scanning your credit cards, like they're just like sitting next to you on a bus.
Sure.
And they're able to scan through your wallet and pick up all of your card numbers. Is that true?
It's real. It's not quite as easy as the commercials would make it seem. Although, at least 3 times a year, I read about, even locally here in Ocean County, banks that have the skimmer devices put on them. So those
on the ATM machines.
On the ATM machines.
Yeah.
So those risks are definitely out there. Keeping open Wi-Fi. Somebody could sit in your. I'll use the word now. Somebody can sit in your parking lot at night when your business is closed and surf porn.
Right. Nice. Good job. The
shackles
are off now, aren't they? Brian, why don't you tell folks a little bit about where they could learn more about Veranda Technologies? Give us your contact information, website, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever you want to give us, Tinder, whatever you want. Go ahead.
Absolutely. No Tinder.
Okay.
We are on LinkedIn, Brian Mirsky. It's Mirsky. We're on Facebook, verandatechnologies.com is our website. And phone number is 732-743-5772.
Very cool. Brian Mirsky, listen, thank you so much. Doing a great job with the Brick Chamber, right? Which is one of the definitely one of the premier chambers here at the Jersey Shore. They've been doing a great job there for years and years and years and years, and you have a great CEO, executive director there.
We do.
We're doing a great job there, doing a great job giving back to the community, raising a family, going out and doing your own business. And listen, hats off to you for being a good citizen here in Ocean County.
And thank you for the opportunity to be on the show.
Absolutely. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, back after this.